You know the scene, right? The flashing lights, the blaring sirens. We see firefighters on the front lines, running toward danger. But what happens after all that? Well, today we're going to pull back the curtain using just one single document to uncover the hidden reality of a firefighter's life.
That's really the big question here, because the work doesn't just stop when the fire is out. In a way, that's where some of the most crucial work really begins. And we've found the perfect little window into their world.
You heard that right. We're looking at meeting minutes. Now, I know what you're thinking. That sounds incredibly dry. But I promise you, buried inside the notes from the Cambria County Regional Firefighters Association is this powerful story, a story of ritual, of struggle, and of just unwavering dedication. So let's dive in and pull it apart. All right, so the story kicks off as the meeting is called to order. And right away, from the very first moments, you can see just how deeply rooted this world is in tradition and respect. So you've got your standard formalities here. The meeting is called to order, and look at that, it's precise, 1901 hours. They do the Pledge of Allegiance, there's an opening prayer. This is not some casual get-together, right? It's a structured event with a real sense of purpose. But then, the tone shifts completely. And boom. Right there, that's the heart of it all. Before they discuss any business, before anything else, they just pause. They stand in silence for one of their own. This one moment tells you everything you need to know about the bond these people share. It's a family, and loss is something they feel, and they feel it together. Okay, so after honoring the past, their focus just snaps right to the future. Because let's be real, in their line of work, constant training isn't just a good idea, it is literally a matter of life and death. Now, what's so fascinating here is just the sheer intensity this reveals. Take a look at this schedule for their 2026 fire school. This isn't just one weekend, folks. It is a packed, multi-weekend commitment. This is all that unseen effort. The weekends they spend sharpening their skills so that they are absolutely flawless when it really counts. And they're not just training for today. The minutes mention this ZFID program. So what is that? Well, it's a class to develop new instructors. They're actually investing in their own people to make sure the next generation of firefighters has the best teachers imaginable. It's all about building this legacy of excellence. And listen, they're being incredibly smart about it too. This isn't some static operation where they just do the same thing year after year. No way. They're dealing with pricing changes, they're looking at bringing training in-house to save money, and they're actively trying to get state recognition to level up their programs. They're problem-solving on the fly to keep their standards as high as possible. So, from the very tangible work of drills and training, the meeting takes a turn. And this next part, it's heavy. They turn to the invisible battles, the threats that follow these men and women long after the fire is out. Right here in the minutes, they form a brand new committee. It's called FACE, Firefighters Against Cancer Epidemic. The name alone is such a powerful statement. This isn't just some side issue for them. They're calling it an epidemic, and they're organizing to fight it head-on. This is a proactive strike against one of the deadliest threats they face. And then you see this dilemma. On the one hand, there's a real glimmer of hope, a new law that finally recognizes PTSD as a work-related condition. Awesome, right? But look at that hurdle. To actually use the new law, they need medical research that costs around $30,000. It's a classic case of having progress on paper that's almost impossible to actually get your hands on in the real world. So faced with this massive $30,000 problem, what do? Do they just throw their hands up? Nope. They take action. A motion is made and it passes to donate $250 to a state-level support group. Look, it's not 30 grand, but it's what they can do right here, right now, to show they're in the fight and to contribute something tangible. So after tackling these incredibly heavy topics, we're talking cancer, PTSD, the focus of the meeting shifts again. This time, it's about the everyday stuff. The small but absolutely essential tasks that keep the whole organization connected and moving forward as one. And I've got to say, I love this part because it's just so real. They're organizing a food drive for the community. They're asking people to vote on a t-shirt color, which is such a simple way to keep everyone engaged. And they're officially welcoming a new fire company into the fold. This right here, this is the fabric of their community: charity, simple participation, and growth. And this slide kind of gives us a little snapshot of that community in numbers. 29 different companies answered the roll call. That's a big network. They're growing, with Lawrence Township coming on board. And yeah, they even have a 50-50 raffle. It might seem like a small detail, but it shows you this is also a social network, a place where these folks can just connect as people.
So as the meeting starts to wind down, the message is crystal clear. This isn't an ending. Everything they just talked about is about momentum. It's all about what's coming next.
And you can see that forward momentum right here on the page. There are already concrete dates on the calendar, a charity check presentation, the very next monthly meeting. The cycle of service, community, and planning just keeps on rolling. And so at 8:21 p.m., the formal meeting ends. A motion is passed and it's over. But as we've seen through all of this, the meeting itself is just one small piece of a much larger, unending commitment to their community and, just as importantly, to each other. So in the end, behind every siren, there's a whole network of people. People dealing with training budgets and health crises and planning food drives. This one document from one county gives us this incredible glimpse into that world. It really makes you wonder, doesn't it? What conversations are happening behind closed doors in your local fire station? What unseen work is being done in your community right now?